Dave. I'm Mary Perry. And you're?
I'm David Zen. And
David Zen. We are, I'm taking it to a whole nother level this morning. I am down in our South Texas studio again this time. Dave?
You see that. How hot is it down there?
It's so hot. No, it's very hot. It's very hot. It's
so hot down there that you keep freezing on my screen. I don't know if that's good. It's 84 up here and it's going to get warmer.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's see, as long as we're doing, I didn't know this was the weather segment. Hold on, let me get my weather report.
All right, we've moved on. So what about all these special?
It's, yeah, it's going to be a high. So that's the thing is I had some special guests that they're just a little slow coming in from the green room.
Why is that?
They were moving slow.
Are you steering me wrong here? Come on, Mary, don't mess this up. The stakes are pretty high, you know.
Well, if you guys haven't guessed, I'm across the street from the ranch in what they call the lodge, and it's really just out there. And there's elk and cattle that are all over the place, and they just are. I'm in their habitat right now, but the connection wasn't that great out front. So unfortunately, we'll see how it is before we sign off, so you can at least say hello to them. You know what? When I was there and I was watching them, it was like there's all these there's cattle, and then there's cow, and there's bulls, right? So it was really amazing because I saw these mama cows and all that stuff, and they would call to their babies. And do you know what they would say when it was time for bedtime? What would the mama cow say to the baby cow?
The mama would probably say it's past your bedtime.
Yes, I practiced that. Yep. Well, I'm so sorry to fans who say I have no game on my jokes. You are 100% correct. Oh, gosh.
So do you know what cow tipping is? Have you heard of that?
I've heard of it. I don't know what it is.
I've heard of it, but I've never had a chance to do it because I've never been served by a cow before. So. We need to get a better connection here. Okay, so moving on. So Sword Points is out today. And unlike this,
moving on.
I'm sorry, what?
I didn't say it.
Freezing on me here.
I know.
All right, well, I'm just going to talk over you then, I guess. So Sword Points is out today, and on the show, Sword Points is full of wisdom. And what is that? That's because our Old Testament this week is all about Solomon. And, you know, we all have favorite readings, but this is another one of them because God asked Solomon what he can do for him. And if God had given me that wish, I guess, I probably would have answered a million things before I would have said, give me wisdom. I think most of us would. I think my wish right now would be unfreeze my co-host here.
Interesting. Oh, am I frozen? Is it some...
You're definitely frozen. So moving on here. What's going on in St. Paul's this week? Well, David will be here this week as the celebrant and the preacher. And I have no idea what he is going to talk about. Julie pretty much pick up all the crumbs out of the Jesus bread story, but maybe David will find something in there to talk about.
Yep.
Living bread. It seems like this is Jesus's eternal bakery that we're dealing with. So that might be one of my titles.
Oh my gosh. Am I still frozen or am I laughing? Can you hear that?
Right now you're unfrozen.
Yay. Okay, good. That was good.
And thawed out. So
Yeah, good. Thank you.
while you're thawed out, why don't you say what you need to say?
Well, it was just amazing. So thank you. I think it was like a great week, and I'm looking forward to the. I too love Solomon and his wisdom, and I think those are great readings. That's all. I had that insightful comment
Okay.
to add.
So I guess one of my titles would be just the quote from God: "Ask what I should give you."
Ah, I like that.
And the other one, it's a little further down in that reading: "Walk in my ways."
Oh,
So
both.
it's kind of a conditional gift, I guess.
Hmm.
But we'll see where David goes.
See where he takes it. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I love that. I got nothing. I was relying on my guests for my big contribution.
Well, I thought you'd be all excited for the feast celebration on Monday, which is St. Mary, Mother of Jesus Day.
Oh, yes. Yes. I did see that. Yes, that's a big day around my house.
I'm sure you celebrate it, right? Okay. So one thing in sword points that's worth looking at, when Joe Bernardo and I went to Israel our last time on the trip with the diocese,
Yep.
we stayed at a place in Nazareth called the Sisters of Nazareth. It's a convent, it's a hostel, it's a church. And this is built, and there's an article here that really goes into a lot of detail on it. This is built above what may be the actual home of Mary, Joseph, and Jesus.
Wow.
There's been a lot of speculation as to where they lived in Nazareth. Nazareth at that time may have had 400 people. And the way families lived families in those days were the aunts and uncles and all the cousins and maybe the grandmother or living grandparent all lived in the same house. So there may have been only 40 homes in Nazareth at that time.
Wow.
And they discovered this site. They really only started working on it about 10, 15 years ago. And as they were digging it up, they discovered the largest Byzantine church foundation, which kind of ties in with some records they had. But for it to be the biggest Byzantine church and built on top of this complex, that's how they would have done it then. They would have built it over the home as they knew it. So this site really is a little more credible almost. And it's 100 yards from the Church of the Annunciation.
Wow.
Which is the cave where Mary heard from Gabriel.
Yeah. Wow. So good.
So it was pretty cool. So we went down in there and there's pictures and a lot of background on it. And it's something that we are going to try to include on all our future trips to Israel.
Wow. How did you feel being there?
Well, all this, it's funny. You don't, except for me going into Jerusalem, the first, when you always enter Jerusalem, that's always pretty special. But just being in Israel, everything is special. I consider being in Israel like walking into the front door of a church. It's like the whole place is a church.
So good. So good. So do you have any next trips on the schedule yet for next year? What are you looking at?
We have actually 2 trips, actually 3 trips, and 4 if you want, depending on how we count them. Next March 17th, St. Paul's Brookfield, we are leading a trip to Israel. It's the basic trip to Israel. We'll be gone for 10 to 12 days, walking in the footsteps of Jesus. That trip is always special because it's at the right time of year. We're sick and tired of all the cold weather in the Northeast. And no matter what the weather is over in Israel, it's definitely warmer than it is in Brookfield in Western Connecticut. Plus, you go and you see all the sights, and then you come back, and a week later is Palm Sunday.
So good.
Holy Week. And then when you start going through the Palm Sunday readings and you go, wait a minute, I was just on top of the Mount of Olives. I just walked down the road that Jesus walked down. And when you go through the readings of the week, Holy Week, Good Friday, it's like, I was just there. I was there where he was crucified.
So good.
Where the tomb was. I mean, you see all those things. You go into the Garden of Gethsemane.
Yeah.
We go to one of the locations for the upper room, the Last Supper. I mean, it is so cool. And that whole week you'll be tingling because you have been to all those places. It's really special.
Yeah. Love it.
Then we have another trip, which is basically the same trip that's going in June, around June 16th. I don't have the calendar right in front of me. But that trip is being led by St. George's in Middlebury. And Cara is definitely going on that trip. And we've scheduled that one for when school gets out because she's got some teachers that want to go and she's got some students that want to go on that.
That's great.
Be a special trip for them. And then next late September, we have the trip going to Oberammergau.
Oh, right. Okay.
The passion play that they do once a decade, which we were supposed to do last fall. And the irony of the whole Oberammergau thing, which is in Germany, during the Black Plague, the people of Oberammergau prayed that the plague would bypass their town. They said, if the plague bypasses us, we'll do the passion play. Well, the plague bypassed them. This is like 500, 400 years ago. And they've done the play every 10 years, once a decade. I guess they didn't pray hard enough because the COVID plague just shut them down for 2 years. So,
oh gosh,
we're doing that next fall too.
Right, that's awesome. So good. See, it's such a full schedule, and you're right. Like, especially the March trip, I can't imagine going through all that and then coming back right into Holy Week. Right where you were was what is so special. Oh, that's wonderful.
I guess my favorite times are either to go like the 2 weeks before Holy Week, or maybe the week after Easter.
Yeah.
10 days after Easter. Because then all those stories are fresh in your mind when you see them.
Yeah.
But really, anytime you go.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jesus' ministry was all through Nazareth, Galilee, all there. You have a chance to get baptized in the Jordan River. It's so cool.
Oh, that's so good. What an opportunity. Well, I hope more and more people are able to take advantage of that as the days and months go on, for sure. Good. All right.
So do you have any more puns you want to run by me here to close off the week?
Oh, I had one more. It was about a bull, and I forgot.
You butchered that one, Mary. Come on.
All right, go ahead. Maybe it'll come back to me. No, I don't.
All right, well, here's
All right, go.
Here's one that kind of applies to you down in Texas.
Okay.
So an out-of-towner was driving his car along and ran into a ditch, an isolated area down there. One of the local ranchers came along with a strong horse named Buddy. He hitched Buddy up to the car and yelled, "Pull, Nellie, pull." Well, he didn't budge an inch. Then the farmer yelled, "Pull, Buster, pull." But he didn't respond. One more time, the farmer commands, pull, Coco, pull. Nothing. And the farmer nonchalantly says, pull, buddy, pull. And the horse easily drags the car out of the ditch. The motorist was very appreciative and very curious. He says, how come you called the horse by the wrong name 3 times? The farmer says, well, you know, Buddy is blind, and if he thought he was the only one pulling, he wouldn't even try. So, you know, once more, we're getting near the end of our show. And we haven't even said hello to our fans.
Oh, please, Les. Yes, let's go. Yes.
So now that we've thought out, do you have any fans that you need to say hello to?
No, very sad to say I don't. I just would like to. No, nobody said anything.
We may have to find a new co-host here if no one's.
I'm not sure if my numbers are really helping this at all. But thanks to anybody who watches. If you want anything, let me know. If you have any help for me, let me know. If you see Dave taking applications for a co-host, I get it.
So, well, you know, I have to acknowledge, you know, obviously my mom and my sister and my bro.
Yeah.
So Tim and Diana and Kaya have gone back to California.
Okay.
But we know that they are going to be watching from California, so we are expanding out to the West Coast.
Yay.
My brother Mark and his wife Nancy are going to watch, and they're also out on the West Coast.
Oh, wow.
And maybe another dog. Their dog is named Bryce. So
Bryce. Okay. Hi, Bryce. Hi, everybody.
So I'm doing my part.
You are. You really are.
So if anyone wants to send along pictures of themselves, you know, watching the show, and we would appreciate that.
Good.
Visual proof that people are.
Yes. I would actually like to see.
A fan of Mary, you know, that would be.
I would like to see visual proof that somebody is watching. I think it's really interesting. I was just relying on a whole bunch of cattle just to make my day. So there you go. Oh, all right. Well, I think I'm going to sign off, y'all.
Okay, Mary. Well.
Okay.
Have a blessed week, everyone, and we'll see you on Sunday.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
Thank you. Do you have anybody to give a shout out to? Why, no. No, I don't. I don't have a soul.
Hey, well, I'll drum up some people for you at coffee hour this week.
Would you? Oh, I have to get a little, maybe I'll have to do a little brochure or one-to-one conversation.
So really, the best you could come up with was the baby cow and the mother.
Yeah, that was it. That literally was it. I know.
Past your bedtime.
Past your bedtime. And you got it. So I didn't even have anything. But what was the other one I had? It was about
Jim Miller is going to be all over your case.
He is going to. I feel like sending him a heads up email. Go, hey, Jim, just so you know.
Don't worry, I'll put him in the credits. Jim will get it.
Would you? Yeah. Just tell him this is even worse than I thought.
All right, everyone. Have a good week.
I wasn't trying to steer you wrong.
Well, that's good.
That's funny stuff right there. That's gold.